Good morning, everybody. Today we're showing you how to manage and how much work it is to manage comfrey. We've been at this for roughly 7.5 minutes, and we've trimmed down all of these. Careful to watch out for the service berries. We trimmed down all these comfrey plants, which were as tall as that, and it's already filled up my bed. So we might have to toss a little bit more in here, dump it off in our backyard, and then come back and finish. And the hope is that we can do this probably one more time, if not two more times this year, so that we can get this amount of regrowth. On the 7th of May, I actually cut this section down as far as you saw in the other spots, and this is how big it is. And what we like about that is it's producing a lot of green manure that we can put in other places in our yard to build the soil, but it also reflowers, providing a lot of nectar sources for pollinators. So we're going to get back to work, and we'll show you what it looks like at the end. Made a little bit more progress, but there's another video, and I'll link to the top. This is actually the place where I had made that video. You can see just how many that once I dug into that, it really did make more plants. There's another plant from where I put the shovel in. There's another plant from where I put the shovel in, because the base one was right here. You can kind of see the growth pattern difference. This was just from one root, and that is just from one root. You can see how just by putting in a shovel around a plant, you can multiply it. And yeah, multiply it is the right word. Exponentially multiply it. So we've actually filled up this truck bed twice, and we're going to bring that over to my house and I'll show you where we put all of it, just so you can get a visual of how far we cut all this down, because I'll do another video in a couple weeks about this property, because I want to talk more about the pear trees and some of these flowers that are blooming through here. Well, you can see they're quite the mass of a plant. And the idea was to stop grasses from creeping in. So like this root system basically creates a wall. That's why like I ended up putting one in there. That's why they're so closely planted together. And if I just wanted to thicken that up, like I said, I could just run a shovel right there, just quick down, and that would widen that out. And it kind of looks, you can see my little pathway coming through here. So it doesn't look, I mean, it did look really lush, but really messy before. And pretty soon we'll have that lush look back again. Love some of these random flowers up. And of course our clover's doing really well, but it exposed this sea berry here, which will give that a chance to put on a little extra growth before it gets shaded. Competed out a little bit with the comfrey. The same as on the front. We have like these three cedar trees were already pretty tall when I planted them, and they've responded over the years. Well, this one was always a little stubby, but it always had to compete with these, which would, you know, basically envelop this cedar tree. So it'll be nice to get that one a little bit more sun this summer. And then when we trim it back right before fall, I plan on trimming it again to let it get another flush of growth, but hopefully we'll time it right so it'll only be here so that this can get winter sun, which is when these are really more active. These evergreens aren't, they grow in the summer, but they probably grow more in the winters, what I've seen in my property. So there's a couple that we've ended up had to trim out. And we left some of the excess. It's not a huge deal. Maybe I'll grab another handful of these, because we wanted to have a nice aesthetic. Oh, and here's a couple of piles I missed. Now you can see they take up a space, that's for sure. Even this wild senna, it'll cover up the spot, I'm sure. And we'll be back here in a couple weeks, and probably all this bergamot will be blooming. And we might even have some pears to eat. Sorry, I got distracted by currants. Look at that back there. Look. Ooh, those are ready to eat. Those are ready to eat. Currants are amazing. All right, so back on topic. Let me run over here. We did have another comfrey right down here, and this is some sort of, but yeah, let me clean this up and I'll show you where on the property at my house where we've been dumping this to create more soil. Well, we're back at the house, just having some snacks. Right above here, right ahead of us here is where we dumped. This would be our third total load this year of dumping comfrey over here. And what the problem is, there used to be a gravel driveway like right here, and it like swooped around. We've seen some like old, Google Earth images or whatever, but all this dries out in the winter because just below here is that old gravel. So what we've been trying to do is we've let, see, there's actually a comfrey right there. And you see how it doesn't even grow as big or as crazy as it does in that other spot. There's just limited nutrients. There's too many rocks down there. We got other things like plantain. We have grapes that may or may not ever produce food. I don't know, they just showed up. And a couple of thistle, but even the thistle struggles. And we have been lucky to get a couple of maples and a walnut. But then what we've been trying to do with our brush pile there, that creates habitat for, because we're a National Wildlife Federation reserve, whatever you want to call it. So that's one of our brush piles. And then all of this will break down over the year and feed, I think this is a silky dogwood or maybe an elder. It would have been nice to get one more spot in there, but that's just as we trim our comfrey, we just got to fill up those little spots. We actually have a box of potatoes here, which are the indeterminate type, so we need to get some more dirt over here to get those to keep growing. But no, you can see we do have some sort of plants and some milkweeds throughout here. This is actually an apple right here that we had trimmed or pruned. It was like 10 foot tall. We pruned it. So there are, if I can get a shot here, so many leaves. There you go. So there are other things that can survive here, but a crab apple surviving and a whole bunch of currants is a different thing. So there's actually more soil over here and less over here. You can see the mailbox right through there, that black little box there. Hopefully that's showing up in camera. There you go. So there used to be a drive from there to the house, which is pretty much directly behind me. So this is how we build soil. We've got more over there. So we're just trying to get as much organic material in here. Animals sleeping and poop in there. And that's kind of how we're doing it. We just use a little mini brick wall. We got some from Facebook Marketplace, just to kind of give us a border, because the ultimate goal or the idea would actually have this be a whole raised thing. So I mean, we're talking a 10-year project here to get this whole area lifted up, because as this elder continues to grow and crazy branches will snap off, this tree will eventually pass away here in my lifetime, and we're just trying to set up the next generation. So thank you for watching. I also wanted to mention that we gave a bunch to the chickens. They're enjoying their see-through fence area, and you can see them all over there snacking. The 11 chickens, or 11 birds, excuse me, has not been enough to eat all of the mulberries that have fallen down. Let me walk in here so you can see, because this is supposed to be a comfrey video, but we just show you all this beautiful fresh fruit that they have not been eating because it's just too much. They have their little food bin there. We got straw and hay kind of around. We just dumped in another thing of that. We throw sunflower seeds every once in a while. We've got sunflower seeds, sunflowers growing there. So they got plenty of food and water, and they're happy little birdies. Even Grumpy Gus there has been known to smile from time to time. All right, Gus. Yeah? Look at him in his jowls. All right, well, thank you again for watching. Let me chase Gus around a little bit. But I hope everybody's enjoying their summer. I hope everybody's thinking about getting a couple of cuttings of comfrey and trying it out as Gus jumps for some more of my leaves. Hey, man, let it grow, man. You can see the rest of the autumn olive is fine, but the shoots have not been so lucky. That's all right. But thank you again. Before I keep rambling on, get some comfrey. It's pretty cool. All right, thank you. Bye, Gus. Bye, Gus.